So recently I've attended an EIML workshop at my college, and honestly I went expecting that I would learn some basic stuff like here's how to use ChatGPT and all. But we ended up covering many topics like AI agents, LLMs, prompt engineering, LangChain, SHAP, and many more that I never actually understood before. So, in this video, I am going to sit down and explain everything I learned in simple words. No jargon, no fluff, but if you are a student or someone who is curious to learn about AI, this video is for you. So before we start, I just want to tell you all that I am a BSc Data Science student, and I thought I already knew a decent amount about AI. But this workshop actually filled in the gaps in me. So basically, I have my notes into this video, and I'll go topic by topic, and I'll try to explain you. Like I wish someone could have explained it to me. Our first topic is what clears confusion many students have. So first topic in my ChatGPT and OpenAI API. So do you know what's the difference between these two? ChatGPT is most of us use every day. Like you type something, you get response. It is built for like daily tasks, studying, coding help, brainstorming. It is basically a finished product. Whereas OpenAI's API, it is mostly used for corporate like businesses, developers. So instead of chatting or using it as chatting with AI, you're using it as a brain of your app. Basically, it is a chatbot like customer support bots, AI tools, automated workflows. All of this is built using this API. The way this workshop taught me really stuck into my mind. For example, the faculty told us an example. Like ChatGPT is like driving a car that is already built, but API means getting into the engine so we can build our own car. So, like, if you ever wondered that how apps powered by AI work, this is API in behind the scene that makes this all work.
So we were on section two. In section two, we'll talk about how AI evolved and where it is right now. So now we'll take a quick look at how we just got here, because AI didn't just happen overnight. Okay. So for years, AI research was theoretical. Then happened deep learning. Then like things started accelerating. Then came transformers. So basically transformers is the architecture behind like basically every modern AI model. Then ChatGPT happened, and the models went from millions of parameters to billions, and now on trillions. So parameters are basically the knowledge of knobs inside a model. The more they are, the more the model can learn and give accurate response or like understand more. There are three things that made this possible. That is more data, better GPUs, and smarter training methods. I think. Also, that's it. That's why AI just got so powerful. And so our section three is basically training phase versus interface phase. uh, throughout all throughout all the duration of the workshop, this one was my favorite part of the workshop because it finally made me understand that how AI actually works under the hood. There are two phases, training phase and interface phase. In training phase is in there what happens is AI continuously learns an insane amount of text, books, website, research, uh, research papers, code, everything. It learns patterns from all of this. It actually takes months and also cost millions of dollars. Interface phase, what happens is when you type a prompt, the model uses all its research work and all everything he have learned into a response, and like it tries to predict all possible ways, and this all process happens in seconds and we get our output that we want, because basically it had learned everything in its training phase, and in the interface phase, it is giving us the correct or predicted output. Okay, and for an example, you can think of it as like a student studying for an exam month before the exam, but the exam only contains for 2 hours. So that's it. I think training and interface phase is done. Okay. So our section 4 is basically about what happens when you send a prompt. So basically, this is genuinely interesting because when we type a prompt and hit on send, we all are curious that what actually happens behind the back. Okay. So the step one is our text basically breaks down into tokens, or tokens are basically small chunks of words. Like for example, if we take artificial as a word, that word might get break into 2 or 3 chunks, or like tokens. Our second step is basically these all tokens goes into model, and next step is the model uses something called as attention to figure out which word is your prompt, and then it kind of figures out that how important it is and how they are related to each other. Okay, so our next step, that is step 4, it is like it predicts the most likely word with our next word, like our existing word. It tries to predict that what would be the most likely word, and its next most likely word, then its next most likely word, until the full like response is built. So basically, I think it's not about retrieving and stored answer. It is building an answer word by word, and this all happens every single time. Now we'll basically move towards section 5, that is the law of average and why AI hallucinates. So this one's basically explains something a lot of people wonder about, like why does AI sometimes say completely wrong things with total confidence? So let me tell you that LLMs don't memorize things or answers. They predict the most like statistically likely word based on their patterns. So if you ask, or if you say I have to drink, the next word is like blank, the model predicts water, tea, coffee, because those follow that pattern most often in its training data. Okay, but sometimes the pattern breaks and it predicts something that sounds right but is factually wrong. Okay, so that's called hallucination. Lying, it genuinely doesn't know that it doesn't know, it is just pretending. This section is something I want everyone to be aware of. This section talks about guidance. Guidance is how AI knows what not to say. So if AI just predicts words, then why doesn't it say harmful words when someone asks for it? Because guidance is basically rules and instruction baked into the model through a process called fine tuning and reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning is basically an trial and error learning base. There is a system prompt, hidden instruction that is uh, informs or instructs the model things like don't give dangerous advice or stay on topic. There is also some safety policies trained directly into the model. So when AI refuses a request, it is not being difficult. It's following its guidelines, and the same way an employee follows company rules. Okay. 7 basically talks about LangChain. Now this is where we are now into the developer territory. LangChain. LangChain is a framework that helps developers connect AI models to the real world, like database, documents, APIs, many external tools on its own. So, on its own, LLM can only work when it's given a prompt or something, but LangChain lets you feed it with your own data. For example, imagine you want to upload an PDF and ask questions about it. So LangChain makes this possible because it helps read the PDF, then sends the relevant chunks to the AI, and then returns the answer. But in this, AI didn't know about your PDF. LangChain made it all possible. So our next topic is normal AI versus an AI agent. So I think this might be the most important topic throughout whole workshop. The difference between normal AI and an AI agent is normal AI. Okay, so in normal AI, you just give an input, it gives you an output, then it doesn't do anything else. It just gives an output for whatever we have asked to, and it's all. It's all. But an AI agent, it's basically an agent. Like we no okay, it receives an goal, then it plans, it searches useful tools, then it makes decision and it takes action to complete the goal. That's all an AI agent do. For an example, you tell ChatGPT that write me an email. Okay, he gives you an output, but now it's your job to copy paste it and to send it to someone. Okay, but if I tell this exact same thing to an AI agent, what it will basically do is it will write the whole email, it will send it, and also if I tell him to add a reminder to give a follow up into 3 or days something, it will do that also. So basically, AI agent does all of the tasks that it is given as a goal. Okay, so also there are many things AI agent can do. It can browse the web, it can write the code, it can run and code, it can manage file, it can call APIs. There are basically AI that can actually do things that not just response. It also makes our life easily by helping us in our workflows. So now in our section 9, there are three quick but important topics to close out that are SHAP, Claude, SLM versus LLM. We'll start with SHAP. So basically SHAP is an explainability tool used in machine learning. Imagine an bank rejects your loan application, but without SHAP, it will only tell you that you are rejected. But with SHAP, it will tell you that you are rejected because of your low income, or maybe credit score is below the threshold, or your debt is high. So it explains why the model made this decision, and it is super important for a responsible AI. Now we'll talk about Claude. Claude is another AI tool. It is also a competitor of ChatGPT. We can say Claude is made by Anthropic. The workshop mentioned about Claude pipeline that basically means connecting Claude as the brain of our you can say workflow, uh, as the reasoning brain of our workflow. The workflow is something like input, processing, reasoning, and then output. Okay, the SLM versus LLM means in LLM is large language model. There are models like GPT, Claude, Gemini. These are huge. These are powerful, and also this runs on cloud. But what are SLMs? SLMs are small language models like Phi, Gamma, 2B. Also, these are smaller, faster, but can run on your phone or laptop without uh, internet connection. Now, I think both have their place. LLMs for complex task, and SLM for a device or like lightweight use cases. So, if you want me to go deeper or take any of these topics like LangChain, AI agents, SHAP, anything you want, just drop in the comments. I'll make a dedicated video for that particular topic. So that's it.